Welcome to the 1000 Comics podcast. I'm your host Matt Heath, and how you been? It's been a couple months since my last episode. I gotta let you guys know, my fans out there, whoever really listens to this, that I've been up to a lot in the past couple months. I took a trip from Florida. Um, drove up with my new girlfriend. We've been living together for the past couple months. My new girlfriend and I. We took a trip. She flew down from Connecticut, got in the car with me, and you might be able to hear her dog drinking water out of a bowl right now. We live together. We live together in her house, which was just hers, but now we share. I cleared out a room. Uh, she had a room that was filled with junk, and I said I'm going to turn that into my recording studio, and she said go right ahead. And now it's my recording studio, as well as the room I just sit around and listen to old vinyl records. But you guys know that about me. That's what I do in my recording studio, right? We took a trip down from Florida to Connecticut. We stopped in the middle in North Carolina, and I did a show over at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina. My God, amazing club, Charlotte, North Carolina. I did a showcase there. All the comics that were on that showcase were amazing. I would love to have any person that was on that show. I would I would love. I wish I had the names of those folks for you right now, but I don't. They all slip my mind at the moment. But I came back. We came back, and I haven't been on stage once since I got back here to Connecticut. I've been so busy. I just got a job substitute teaching. I'm back at the pawn shop I used to work at, which where you might be able to find my a copy of my play if you're interested in buying it. Which brings me to sponsorships. If the 1000 Comics podcast is looking for sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor the show, go to just send an email to matthewheath.saga@gmail.com. That's MatthewHeath.saga@gmail.com. If you'd like to sponsor the show, send me an email. Until then, I'll be pretty much sponsoring myself. My plays that I've written are all available on Amazon.com. Just type in Matt Heath in the search engine, and my plays Renaissance Men, Ms. Scrooge, and Pawnbrokers will all pop up. And now I think my plays will soon be available at Yankee Peddler and Pawn and East Hartford. If you're in the Connecticut area, pop in and visit me. You'll be able to get my play, Pawnbrokers, or one of my other plays, maybe some other merchandise. Stop in and say hi. I work there now. And now to talk about my guest that was on the show. This I recorded a little over 2 months ago. Riley Edwards. I always describe Riley Edwards as the rising young star of the Boca Raton comedy scene. He's a young guy, big fish in a small pond. He's going places. He's written numerous things in comedy. He had a movie that I read. He wrote a movie, and I left it at my desk at my old teaching job. And after I got fired, I never went back and collected my belongings. So Riley Edwards' script is still probably sitting around Lake Worth High School there. Anyways, without further ado, this is my This is my interview with Riley Edwards. Enjoy. All right, welcome to the 1000 Comics Podcast. Here we are with Riley Edwards.
Comic number 14.
No, I think you're 15, but who's counting at this point? There's going to be 1,000 comics on this podcast.
I don't even think there's 1,000 comics in South Florida.
Well, it's not just a South Florida show. I'm taking the show on the road, man. I'm moving.
That's true.
I'm moving to Connecticut.
It's on the road.
This is the last comic I'm going to have on the show here in South Florida, guys. How do you feel about being the last guy on the show?
I mean, I hope I'm not the last person in South Florida that you interview.
Well, you're not going to be the last person, but you're going to be the last person that's interviewed in this apartment here.
That's probably a good thing.
You know something? This apartment is the cleanest it's ever been since I moved in here.
That was insane. You call me up and you're like, "Yeah, I'm cranking the AC right now." I'm like, "Why?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, because it's got to be off for the whole podcast."
Yeah, man, the AC has to be off. It messes with the acoustics of the podcast. The rest of the comedians don't seem to have a problem with it.
I'm a sweater.
You wear long sleeves
and pants all the time,
and
too.
Pants. I don't know what your deal is, man. It's Florida in the summertime. What's your problem?
That's what I've been on, man. I wear pants everywhere most of the time, and the long sleeve shirt. Yeah. So
you're looking around a lot. Is there anything you want in this apartment? You want to take home with you?
Oh, like a keepsake?
Yeah. I think.
Actually, I could use that paper. My printer's out of paper at my parents' house.
Do you really need paper?
Not the whole thing, just like a couple of sheets before I leave, so I can print out some homework.
That's the paper I use to draw the cartoons. I need that paper.
Oh, this is where you draw. Oh, you better not give me a gut. Or actually, even worse, you're gonna make me look like a pencil.
I actually had
a Simpsons pencil.
Permanent marker stained all over this table just because
you were drawing everybody's.
I draw everybody's cartoon for this podcast on this table, and I would never wash the permanent marker off the table because here's the reason why. When I was a kid, I used to draw a lot, and I would get permanent marker on stuff, and like my parents would, my mother would get pissed. I had a roommate, and I was drawing. I've been drawing cartoons all my life, and I had a roommate that like basically didn't want to live with me anymore because I was getting permanent markers.
Here, or are you talking about
back at my old place in Delray. And she would get pissed at me about the permanent marker stain. And it's like me living in my own place.
I'm an artist, damn it.
Yeah, it's like, I love, like, the permanent marker stains all over the table. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave them. I liked having permanent marker stains all over the table. Like, it was like, you could tell it's my work area with permanent marker stains all over the table.
Why wouldn't you just get, like a cover or something? Can you put like into?
I could draw with just with like a few sheets of paper, so the permanent marker doesn't bleed through the one sheet.
But that would ruin the integrity, the art.
No, it's not that. I guess it's just like once I seen one permanent marker stain, I'm like, fuck it.
There's
like,
no point.
I'm just gonna keep letting
the table's ruined.
Yeah, but then a cleaning lady comes and gets all the permanent marker.
Oh, you know how to get it out, right? It's really easy to get off.
I know it's
hand
sanitizer, nail polish, all it gets.
Nail polish remover too.
Nail polish remover.
You got any beer here?
I do. I actually have a 40 of Colt 45 in the fridge.
Do you have glasses?
You want to split it?
Let's put some glasses.
You know what I have? I have for you, Riley.
Yeah. What's that?
You know what I have?
What?
I have the Funky Buddha janitor glass.
Nice. It's like a It's like a highball glass. And you have it in the bag, too.
This feels so right. The fact that the last beer I have at this apartment is a 40 ounce of Colt 45. Not even a full 40 ounce.
I've never actually drank Colt 45 before, but I'm guessing it's not great. It doesn't look great. And it was already open, too. When did you drink it before this?
The great thing about the 40 ounce is that you could seal it back up with a
no, it just tastes like any old beer, really. Most
it's better than beer. It's malt liquor.
So it's not beer?
Don't you have a college class that you're gonna drink beer and then go to a?
Yeah, beer. That's one beer, and the class is intro to freshman year. So.
Oh my God, I hated that class. When I remember my freshman introduction class,
mm-hmm.
and they all they do is teach you how to do like BS like they teach
like
you
how to learn
how to do laundry.
Oh no, it wasn't like that.
Yo, oh my God, and I hated that class, and I made fun of the gay guy that was like the what are they called? They're not called teachers' assistants in college. What are they called?
Yeah, they would be like TAs.
Oh yeah, I guess they do. They are teachers.
You would make fun of the guy because he was gay.
No, not because he was gay. Just because, like, I just couldn't stand like being taught common sense. You know what I mean? Like, I came to this. I'm paying all this money to be in school.
But you're not paying for the class. You're paying for the credits. That's the thing. Like
exactly.
if they told me that I could just pay for the credits,
you're paying for the credits. But at the end when you really get years away from school and you realize it's like you weren't even paying for the credits.
But at least I know how to do laundry.
You're just paying for the degree.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Just that one piece of paper.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't matter what you do with your there's most jobs only that require a degree just want you to have a degree in something.
Yeah, they don't care.
You know what I mean? They don't even care what it's for.
Oh, yeah, it's not great there, but I had to lie when I applied because it's Palm Beach community. And
that's where you're going, Palm Beach community.
Mm-hmm. And I had to lie on the application, and I didn't tell them I went to Bama before. I just completely exempted all of my previous college history. I was like, yeah, I just left high school. Took 4 gap years.
Don't you have credits that you could transfer over from?
It's not worth it. There was I failed most of the classes. I was barely going home when I was up there.
What, were you drinking a lot back then? What was it?
Big time fuck up there. Because this was the first time I was out of my parents' house, and then I was in a different state, and I was living in what was basically an apartment with 4 dudes that I went to high school with. Just getting fucked up every day is really bad.
I think I was too. I might have been messing up real bad. I did mess up a couple times real bad in college, but at the same time, I was always passing my classes because I always knew at the end of the day, I gotta go to class.
Yeah.
Because I know that they're it's worth, because if you divide how much you're paying for college in terms, it's
yeah, that's what
you're paying over. You're almost paying if you divide up how much money you're spending to go to college into each class, it's what is it? It's I just wasted $500 by not going to that class. Going to that one class, that missing a day is wasting $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's wasting $1,000, but it would be wasting $80.
Well.
Of what you could have learned that one day.
Palm Beach Community College, maybe. Wasting $80.
No, I meant per day, as if you.
No, I went to a pretty expensive school. I'm in a lot of debt.
Oh, still?
Yeah,
That's why you were passing those classes because you were you did your student loans, then I guess, right?
Yes. Yeah, so because I knew
you were responsible.
I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life paying off what I'm there for.
Yeah.
So.
What is your major in?
I decided to take it serious.
You're an English major, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Wait, what were you saying about the? You were making. You were saying making fun of TAs because I just worry about that. That was funny.
Making fun of because for teaching common sense.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought you were saying was because
The
he was gay or
TAs, the
something.
RAs were the worst, man. Did you have RAs when you were in Alabama?
Oh, like the dorm cops.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Dorm cop. What they were called? Dorm cops.
No.
back then?
That's just like
And
I
you're,
forgot what they were actually called, so that's what I was thinking.
RA. Oh my god.
Oh, residential advisor.
Yeah, man. Those people suck.
We had the one where it was like trying like I guess he just like wanted to like be cool and easy, but then like he would walk past our room and like one of our roommates would be like smoking in the back of the room and he'd be like, "Hey guys, it kind of smells like pot out here." Like, oh fuck, like it's bad. This is why one roommate just wouldn't say, like, dude, you can't smoke that shit in here. You're gonna get us kicked out.
Why didn't he just do like the thing where you take like a paper
all
towel
the-
roll and then you put like was like the old college
Yeah,
trick.
when you put dryer sheets.
And you put the dryer sheets in the paper towel roll. No one ever knows. That
doesn't work at all. We would go. We would go.
Well, you know what it is? It's like
on.
you just blow the smoke in there, but then you also have the joint
and
itself reeking. You know what I mean?
Oh well, nobody was smoking joints.
Not that I ever smoked weed in college.
Yeah, fucking bad. Oh man. Well, listen. This is the reason. Whatever you were like making fun of that TA. The only thing I was thinking of, we used to have this math teacher when I was in high school.
Right.
And this kid that I'm like, all the kids that I'm friends with now that aren't like comedians are like just people I went to high school with.
Right.
And so there's like 6 people that I hang out with in high school, and he goes, I wasn't in the class, but I had the class like after them. But there was this group of these kids that were in this one class, this math teacher that quit. Like there was like a year where we had like 4 different math teachers quit all in that same year teaching the same
really?
class.
Oh my! Your school.
This is in high school.
These kids did not want to learn math.
No, and he goes, it was after the Super Bowl, right? And it was probably like sophomores or juniors, and my buddy Mikey is in this class, and everybody's talking about the Super Bowl in the class, and like the teacher is like. He's like kind of like metro, you know what I mean? He's not gay, but he's like, he's got that kind of like vibe.
He's flamboyant.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, everybody, stop talking about the Super Bowl. And my buddy Mikey's just like, you were probably watching Glee, fag, like in the middle of the whole class.
That's
and he
brutal.
got fucking just straight sent out. I was like, damn,
wow,
can't be doing that shit. Do you don't prepare questions before this?
I have a few questions prepared. I thought we would riff it. I've known you for a while now, and you know, like I thought I didn't. Sometimes I prepare a sketch and everything, but I was like,
you don't have one of those.
This was going to be.
Do you?
This is the last. This is the last recording in this apartment here. Mm-hmm. So I knew no matter what we did, it was going to be authentic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are some of the podcasts not authentic?
No, I think they're all pretty much authentic. Like they're all like.
Have you had like one
good,
that was weird?
Good enough to go back and listen to.
Have you had one that was like a rough to get through?
No, I don't think any of them were rough to get through.
I couldn't host. I'm not like close enough.
Why have you listened to?
I told you, man, I can't listen to them because it's weird. It's just like it's 2 people that I know.
Yeah,
it's like listening to my friends have a conversation while I'm not there.
Yeah, because you know all the comics that are on this podcast. Mm. We spent the same. What do you? All right, I think we should spend some time reminiscing though about my past 2 years here in Florida, seeing that I'm leaving.
Wait, you've been here for 2 years?
Yeah, I've been here for two years now. I left for the last summer though, to
Italy,
to go to Italy.
A boy went back to Napoli.
Mambo Italian. As I'm drinking a 40 ounce of Colt 45.
Yeah, it's very, it's a stark contrast.
Yes. We should start. I doubt you would ever see a 40 ounce of Colt 45 in Italy.
No, but in Lake Worth, they're a dime a dozen.
Oh man. Yeah. What do you think one of the best moments at the Funky Buddha Lounge was in like the past couple of years?
I have two that I always remember. The one where I remember I almost got after that one I almost got my ass kicked outside of it.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Somebody almost beat you up?
No, it was like some dudes were like coming out of a car and they were like all amped up. And they were like, they kept saying like they were talking to each other and they were being serious, like completely unironic. They were like, yeah, put some respect on it. Like they were talking to each other.
Right.
And then they go up to the door and I forget, like they didn't want to pay the $3 cover charge or something.
Right.
And then they left and like they were kind of joking around with the comics were like joking around with them or whatever for like a couple seconds and they didn't pay the cover charge. They left. And I was like, as they were leaving, I was like, yo, put some respect on it. And they turn around and the one guy in the tank top's all worked and he's like, yo, you talking shit, bro? You talking shit? I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's like I'm just kidding around. No, I always say that because that was Don Giovanni was there and I was literally like, if they had come over to me, I was like, that would have been my first move in that fight. Would have been like, all right, where's Don? We gotta find him.
He would have had your back too because he was always ready to fight. Mm. I think that's one of the biggest missing elements of the crowd is Don Giovanni.
Yeah, I know.
Where's the guy? Where's the guy that's always ready to fight?
Yeah, those aren't common with comics either. It's nice to have someone around that's like can handle themselves.
Yeah, it is hard to find a comic. Like when you have a group of comics, you need that guy, the one that's always ready to fight, because
that could kick someone's ass.
Because most comics are cowards.
Yes, most comics are either too fat or too skinny. That's like
too fat or too skinny.
My mom
have lost every fight they've ever been in.
Yeah, my mom's always telling me I gotta she's like, oh, you gotta start working out. She's like, you get bigger, get in shape or something. You look malnourished. Like she said, I look malnourished, and I'm like, I don't want to get in shape because it's going to make my comedy less funny. It's gonna
that's true.
The better looking you are, the less people.
When people ask me if I work out, I feel like that's the same thing with me. It's like I
can't work out.
There's nothing funny about being physically fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nobody wants some good looking in shape person telling jokes.
Yeah. They want. It's. Well, have you ever heard of the superiority theory in comedy?
No, what's that?
The superiority theory is meaning the reason the characters we love in comedy are we have to feel like we're better than them.
What do you mean, like the guys like your influences?
Well, no, not like comics, like real people. I'm talking about characters. You have to feel like you're better than a character to sympathize and follow.
Oh, you're saying the audience has to feel the need that they're. Oh, I don't think of it like that. I think of it more as like it's just tough to be relatable. Like if you're if you're a good-looking person who could just go to a bar, pick up various women, leave. Like that's not relatable. Like there's no content there that you could just be like the audience can't connect with that.
Here's the thing: when you go, I feel like a lot of people go to watch comedy. Mm-hmm. They don't obviously doing comedy and watching comedy are two completely different things.
Yeah, I hate watching.
But the reasons people go out to do either, the reasons run parallel. You know what I mean? I feel like that most comedians, I feel like there's something tragic in their lives that kind of made them comedians. You know what I mean?
Yes. Everybody needs a reason to be whiny.
They do it because they're depressed most of the time. Most comics are depressed.
Yeah, but that's where the funny shit comes from.
But I feel like the reason you go to watch a comedy show might also be because you're depressed.
That's what I literally said. I got on stage at the Buddha last week, and I got up and I was like, I feel like this open mic today is just all these comics trying to out-depress each other.
But really, you're trying. You might be trying to make the audience feel better. You know what I mean?
Like make them feel less shitty about whatever.
Exactly. You are presenting your own pathetic life.
For them. For their entertainment.
Yeah, for their entertainment. So, isn't that really what it's all about?
It's kind of sadistic almost at that point on the audience side.
I mean, do you agree with me or do
No, I 100% agree. They love watching. That's what I was saying that to Victor the other day, man. I was like, the kid that's been coming out recently, like for the last 2 months.
And he's brand new, man.
And I've been telling
the kid just got out of high school.
They freaking love self-deprecation. Like you could go up there and just rip on yourself for 5 minutes, and an audience will eat that.
But there's also a difference between self-deprecating humor and just straight
like,
self-deprecating.
Sad on stage.
Yeah, like there's a fine line. Like you like once you step over that line and you're just being depressing.
The difference is one you're like writing a joke and there's a punchline for, and the other you're literally just going up there and being like, oh, I fucking hate myself. Like of course they're gonna be like, you're just gonna disappoint the audience. So yeah, it is like a weird. You're skating on thin ice with self-deprecation.
You are, but as long as the material's there, as long as you got jokes, that's what you're going up there to do, right? Tell jokes.
Yes. Well, yeah. Sometimes mix it up. Sometimes I do poetry.
So, what was the other favorite moment that you had at Funky Buddha?
Well, there's been a bunch, but the one thing I fucking love the most is the time. I mean, it's not like a good thing to like, but like that time that fucking lady just slammed her car into that van. You remember?
No, I don't think I was there for that either.
You missed the two things I keep thinking. Wait,
I was there. There was a lady like driving down Federal and just crashed into the dry cleaner van. The dry cleaner or the laundromat. Yeah, the dry cleaner van.
And she was like loaded, and they had her like walk in a straight line. Yeah. And she was like on heels, and she was like wobbling, and then she had to like take her heels off so she could walk in a straight line, and she put her hand on the cop's shoulder to like get her heels off. And I was like, oh, there's no way she's going to the drunk tank tonight. There's no fucking way.
That's crazy. Yeah. She had to lean on the cop to take her heels off,
and then just like.
I didn't even see that. I might have been doing my set because I saw the initial crash. But I think I might have went inside.
Matt, you're on in 2. Fuck.
I'm missing all the good stuff. Something awesome is about to. Thank God Ciro Dobrik was there that night because he's got the whole bit about ditching if you get into an accident and getting you. And I remember he did that joke specifically that night, and it's a joke that's old. Like it's not like he wrote that joke that night. That's like of his.
It just happened to fit.
That's part of his material about if you get into an accident, ditch your car and report it stolen. And the crowd just went nuts for that joke that night.
Yeah, because it fit so perfectly timed. There shouldn't be any silence.
No, this should be a good lull every once in a while.
Because usually when we talk out at the Buddha, there's always there's various lulls. We've just gotten to the point where it's like, of course.
Oh, that's how you know.
A podcast, I feel the need to keep
with
talking.
The podcast, they want to know like these guys. They want to know if we're friends in real life.
Yeah, I think we're getting
I think that's one of the things with podcast fans.
They want to see like the people that are actually friends just talking. That's so weird to me to think that someone would want to listen to like just two people that are buddies like record themselves.
I think most people listen to podcasts on their commute to work, somewhere.
I used to listen to a bunch of them when I was working at Publix, and I'd be on my work breaks. I would listen to them in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your go-to?
I only listened to one. It was Pete Holmes' one.
Pete Holmes? Does he do a good podcast?
Yeah, he's a good. He keeps the guest like high energy.
Yeah.
He gets
He doesn't. Do you think my energy is too low for podcasts?
No. I don't. I mean, I think my energy is too low to be on a podcast. That's what I think. There's very few people that could probably get me too amped up, but. Like, if I didn't know them. But since I know you, it's like, yeah, I can just come here and talk.
Did you start doing the stand-up comedy when you were working at Publix?
I was working at Publix for like a month before I started doing stand-up. That was after I dropped out of college for the second time. Right, because
you dropped out of college, you started working at Publix.
Yeah.
And you decided to start doing stand-up comedy when you were working at Publix.
Yeah, right? I did it, first time I did it at Marine 84. and I had like all of my jokes for like I had them written on my arm. I didn't bring a notebook because I didn't think that was like socially acceptable on stage. So I had all these jokes written on my arm. I got fucked up before I went on stage because I was nervous, and I'm like reading them off, and like I actually didn't have a bad set because they thought I was like doing it as a bit, and I'd be like, next joke, and I'd like look at my arm to read the joke that I was gonna do off my arm, and they thought that I was like doing a bit with that.
You have a good way of doing that on stage, like
moving on.
Make things that you're doing that are wrong like seem like part of the act. Which
like last week, did you see the last week?
What'd you do last week?
Or not last week, it was just this Wednesday. I didn't have my notebook with me.
Right.
But like if I don't have anything written on bullet points, I just like for some reason I forget all of my material on stage.
Really?
Yeah, and so I have to always at least bring something up there for reference, and I didn't have my notebook with me, but I had all these cough drops in my pocket, so I just wrote my set list on the back of a cough drop.
On the back of a cough drop?
I just used like the paper of the cough drop, and I like wrote like my set list on it, and I was just like pulled it out of my pocket, and then I was up there, and I just needed to stall for time. And I told them about it, like, you know, I figured I might as well have it. I might as well use it as a bit. You know? And I went in my pocket to figure out the next joke I was going to do to get the cough drop. And I didn't even need the page for reference. I just needed that, like, time, like that, like, pause to think. So I was just reaching in my pocket, and I actually grabbed the wrong paper cough drop that just didn't have anything written on it. And I just stared at it for a couple seconds. And then I just, like, went into the next joke. I was, like, trying to remember which one I was going to do.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
You know... I do you feel like self-conscious about that, like that you still need notes on stage?
No, because I use them. Like I use like the fact that I bring the notes up with me, I use that as a joke too.
But is it just open mics, or do you do it on?
No, when I go to
shows?
I
bring notes on stage on shows.
Yeah.
I think a lot of comics might
frown upon that.
But I think like they might. I think. At the same time, there's professionals that do it too. Yeah. If you look at like Janine Garofalo, I went to a show of hers at the East Village Comedy Club, and she brings her notebook with her everywhere, man. Like she brings her notebook on stage with her every time she does stand up.
I don't think it matters. As long as you have a good set, I don't think if you bring notes or not, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
because you should care. So if you have a good set, notes or not, it doesn't matter. You know,
I don't think there's anything wrong with having your material close by with you because
I can't remember all that shit. I got freshman 101 homework I gotta do. I got tests about laundry. I need my notes up there. Man.
What do you know? What you're focusing on today in your freshman class?
Fucking. What did we just? Oh, we just learned about. Oh, this is actually funny. We just learned about like discrimination and like stuff like that. Like prejudice was like a whole lesson we just did.
See, they're teaching common sense.
Yeah, don't be racist.
Yeah, don't be like. Yeah, you go to school. It's like don't be racist. Well, it's like I'm pretty sure if you're in higher education. We should already know that nobody should be racist. Yeah, but go on, please tell me.
They show us like a couple of slides. It takes like 10 minutes. Shows us slides, and then the lesson for that day, we just watched the movie Crash. You know what movie that is?
I do like the movie Crash. I actually watched it in high school, and I enjoyed it. But I guess that's not a bad way.
I thought it was. I mean, it was good, but it's kind of annoying because it was like there's too many like it was like very like coincidental, you know, like all the characters kept meeting up with all these other like different characters, and they were
it's too much like an episode of Seinfeld, you think?
Or like Curb, where like everything just keeps like coming back around. It's just a depressing episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
This is the most depressing episode of Seinfeld I've ever watched. Wait, did you guys finish Crash or what?
Yeah, I mean, because it's summer classes.
That'd be so funny if like during the quiet part of Crash in your freshman class, you just go, "This is the most depressing." Like you actually yell that out like during the movie.
It was a bummer. I mean, the movie ends like this is like a sad like.
That was always my thing in high school, and I did it less in college, but I always still had to do it. If you watch a movie in school, like, you always have to, like, I always had to yell something out, like, during a quiet part of the movie. Especially if it's a movie that everyone's seen
before.
Yeah, everyone's seen it, but, like, everyone's seen Crash. It's an old fucking movie.
I hadn't seen Crash until fucking, like, 2 days ago. That was the first time I saw it.
But I don't know. It's like, to me, that's crazy. It's like you spend your time in a higher education watching a movie you can watch at home
it's one
for
class
for free. You know what I mean?
I watched it there for free. Oh, no, I watched it there for however much the fucking class cost. But there was some kid that yelled during the movie, and he goes, like, I think it was, like, right around, like, when Sandra Bullock is, like, being racist, which she pretty much just was for the whole movie.
Right.
And, like, one of the kids in the back just goes, he's like, yeah, this movie is just, like, really racist. And then someone else just yells out, yeah, that's the fucking point. Like, just trying to get him to stop.
Oh, my God. See, you gotta, like, if you're gonna yell something out during a movie, it's gotta be something clever.
Yeah,
like, if it's like that, like, during the plot twist, saying, like, this is the worst episode, like, this is the most depressing episode of Seinfeld I've ever seen. Like, that's funny, man.
I don't think anyone would get that. Especially in a freshman 101 class. All the kids are, like, 18, 19 years old. You think they're gonna get a Seinfeld reference?
I think some.
They're gonna be like that old guy from the 80s. Like, that's what they know him as. Nobody know, like... Oh, you mean the guy from B Movie? That's probably how they know him. Not even from Seinfeld.
Wow, I must be getting old, man. Like, I don't know, because that's something I would have done in college. I would have yelled that out during.
But you weren't even, like...
crash.
You were, like, 0 when, like, Seinfeld was a thing.
That's true, but it was always on reruns, and it still is.
Yeah, but, like, when you were a kid, you were watching Seinfeld reruns?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that explains a lot.
That I grew up watching Seinfeld reruns?
You grew up, yeah, with the sense of humor you have, as opposed to, like, I grew up watching, like, kids' shows,
Yeah.
I would watch reruns on Disney, not fucking TV Land.
What was your go-to show when you were a kid? Like, when you got home from school, what'd you watch?
I was forever. You know that show Psych? You ever seen that on USA?
Yeah.
That shit fucking, I love that show.
That's not a kid's show, though. That's
but I was
like an adult
I was
program.
Like, it came out like 2004, and I started watching it like when that first season came out because my dad showed it to me. So it would have been like 10 or something like that. So
I never watched that show. It's actually a good show.
Oh, it's fucking funny as hell.
Yeah.
And it gets so like I love when shows do that thing where like they get older and they like self-reference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have like all those inside jokes that they can do later. I love when shows do that, and they do that shit all the time.
I feel like that's like a show like Psych kind of like as like I mean, obviously they're two completely different shows, but I feel like the actors kind of have like the same mentality going there, and they're like
with who?
Scrubs. You ever watch Scrubs?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't watch it that much, but I get what you're saying.
But it's like that same like type of humor where it's like I don't know. It just seems like a show
Scrubs
like that.
is more like goofy. Like Psych is kind of more like a witty. Like it's more like witty.
Scrubs could be witty.
Is it? I don't know. I never saw.
You never watched Scrubs?
That I think is fucking absolutely some of the best TV show writing, like joke wise, but like the stories of the episodes are kind of slacking. Is 30 Rock.
30 Rock's an amazing show. I love that show.
That I've heard.
I think Tracy Morgan is the most like.
Well, he's a lot smarter than he lets on.
Well, exactly, but he's also the most naturally funny person on the planet. Like he doesn't even have to try. Like he could just be in the same room. Whatever comes out of his mouth is just funny, just because like
it's a voice thing too. Like a lot of you ever know, like some comics will just thrive. Like not saying they're not funny without their material, but like the voice amplifies whatever joke. Like Dave Chappelle is like the best stand-up voice ever. Like for stand-up at all, like his,
that's true.
Kind of like his tone and his thing, like it's perfect.
I saw Tracy Morgan live a few months ago over at the Hard Rock. It was pretty good. You should go see him if you get a chance.
It does even. I feel like he wouldn't even need material. He would just go up there for an hour and
he
fucking.
He has material.
Yeah.
He has a lot of material. Like one of his jokes I really liked was like grandma is like trying to get him to pursue getting a GED.
Wait, like, and this is like back in the day.
No, this is like currently. And he's like, "Come on, but Grandma, I was on 30 Rock." She's like, "If you had your GED, you could have been on 60 Rock. God damn it!"
There's this joke in the show I heard. I mean, rolling like I like heard it like. I was like looking at my phone and I heard it. I had to pause the show, rewind it just to watch it again.
Right.
And it was like like Tina Fey was like had a scene with like Alec Baldwin. And they were talking about whatever the hell was going on, and then it quick cuts to Jenna Maroney, the blonde girl,
right?
And like Judah Friedlander was there, and like maybe like two first someone was there, and it cuts to their scene, and it starts off, and Jenna's like, she's like, a drinking contest. What am I, 12 and at my boyfriend's frat party? And it's like something that you hear at first, like you just kind of like whiff by. And I was like, hang on a second, she's fucking 12.
12 years old at a frat party. That's I like. There was one joke that really got me on the show where Alec Baldwin is like worried about his money or something, and he starts talking about a Beanie Baby collection he has in a safety deposit box.
Wait, no, it wasn't I thought it was something else. Didn't he like collect something weird, right?
No, I remember specifically. He was talking about
Babies.
a Beanie Baby collection he has in a safety deposit box. Can you imagine that? Like, keeping Beanie Babies?
Like, isn't he saying, like, he's keeping it as, like, gold? Like, the value is going to keep going up?
Yeah.
That's fucking funny. I wonder if they actually are expensive. Wait,
I think I like that one. No, there's definitely ones that are worth money.
Look at that. See what's like the can you use Safari while you have the podcast going?
I could look it up on.
It's too dangerous. You don't want to try it out on your computer. It's dangerous.
Well, I don't have Wi-Fi in here actually, just because I have so much internet.
You don't know what are you using, a hotspot on your phone?
I guess I could use a hot. Well, what do you want me to look up?
Oh, this isn't Wi-Fi.
Beanie Baby?
Just look up the most expensive BB.
Most expensive Beanie Baby.
What's the market price? Investing. It's like currency trading.
But I used to work at a pawn shop, man, and people would bring in Beanie Babies, and you kind of like laugh at them. But then you look it up, and some of them are actually worth money.
Oh yeah,
but then it's like, get these friggin' McDonald's.
That's the same with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, dude. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are like stacked. Like you can get like thousands of dollars for Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Most expensive Beanie Babies. First charity edition rare Thai princess, and it's a bear. It says $92,500 on eBay.
Is it? Is it which one? The one on the left? Oh, that's just like it's just dark blue. For those of you playing along at home, for those listeners,
yeah,
it's just a dark blue bear. Don't look it up.
It looks like the same as the rest of the bear. Hold on, listen. This one says the 5 most expensive.
The Beanie Baby stock market.
Patty the platypus. $6,000.
Nice.
That's a lot of money. Claude the crab.
Claude the crab. Wait, what the hell are these albums you got coming up here?
$100,000.
Why are they all stand-up albums and then you just have the Heath Bros? The Heath Bros.
That's my name. That's because it's my name. It's a jazz album with 2 black gentlemen on it. Nice. That I don't know, it reminds me of my brothers having that up there because it's called the Heath. It's Riley, because all you guys out there in podcast land can't see what's going on.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a album that I have on the wall. I'm glad you brought this up. No one else has asked me about this album hanging on my wall.
That specific one, or them in general?
No, I've had a conversation with Adam Kay about the Big Bamboo. Or no, that was Tony Tata. We were talking about how a roach got in there one time
in the album,
and it was ironic because it's roach and there's a giant rolling paper in there. Hennessy definitely brought up the Bill Cosby album. He was kind of like talking about how all these guys were like my heroes, but no one has ever brought up this album over here, which is
the Heath Bros.
It says Stanley Cowell, Tony Perrone, the Heath brothers, or the Heath Bros passing through. Albert Heath, 2, and it's just got. To tell you the truth, I've never listened to the album. I've never listened to that album.
But do you know? Have you heard the songs on it? Or you just haven't played the record?
Just by virtue of these guys having the same last name as me,
and you just see the big ass
being
bass,
brothers,
and you just assume it's some kind of like slow thump jazz, right? That's what it looks like. It would be like a boom, 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 boom. Right? Because like when you see those big ass, like I don't know what that is, like a guitar, or a cello. Is that a cello? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I think it's a cello.
Has nobody ever complained about the heat in here before?
Well, usually I have the AC running longer, and now we're getting to mid-July.
Oh, I didn't give you enough prep time.
No, well, you did kind of hit me up at it like yeah, I'm ready to do
It's
the
like
podcast.
yeah, it's like an hour and a half ago. I was like, yeah, I'll swing by.
But also, I feel like I didn't get like a real confirmation from you. I didn't know like if you were really coming or not.
Well, because I couldn't answer your phone call.
Oh, that's all good because you were in class. What class?
No, I wasn't in class. I was actually eating. I was at a restaurant.
Oh, who you at a restaurant with?
My sister. I didn't want to answer. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It felt rude if I was like, "Hang on, there's a podcast today. I'm a pretty big fucking deal. I gotta answer this."
You were having lunch. You were having lunch with your sister.
Yeah.
Where were you guys?
At this grilled cheese place on Federal. Have you ever been there before? New York grilled cheese.
New York grilled cheese? No.
I don't know. You would probably be mad. I feel like anyone like that's not from New York is like, "Oh, this is really good." But like, I feel like people that are from New York hate when like restaurants use New York to sell.
But it's grilled cheese. It's not like New York's known for their grilled cheese. It's like, I'm not going to go in there. I'm not going to go in there and be like, what the fuck is it? This isn't a New York grilled cheese. What are you doing over here? You don't know how to make grilled cheese.
They're actually really good though over there. It's like good as fuck. They put like brisket in it and all that stuff. It's
the only thing New Yorkers really get annoyed with is if somewhere claims to have New York style pizza and it's not New York style. I think it's really just pizza.
You know, DC has their own. You know, DC has their own style of pizza. Did you know that?
Washington D.C. has their own style of pizza.
It's the jumbo slice. It's just a fucking massive, like it's like a quarter pot. Like that's how big the fucking thing is.
This is a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it's like a DC thing because it's like. You see them everywhere. They're like, yeah, we got the jumbo slice. Like that's where I used to always go when I was staying in DC for those couple months. I was like, just go to this like pizza place, eat there, and leave. Get my jumbo slice.
Does this have something to do with Trump? Did he think of this?
I don't think so.
Do you think he has the jumbo slice?
I'm sure he's had one before. You know, he's been in DC for what is it? Has it been like a year already? Oh my god, it's been more than a year.
I feel like he's always down here playing golf. I don't think he's ever actually there.
I don't know. I keep that of politics. Politics.
All right, let's lay off Trump for a little while.
You can't get on politics on the podcast because you're going to alienate half your audience.
You're right.
You got to keep. That's the Kevin Hart move.
I feel like I feel like my audience will never really know if I completely hate Trump, like him. It doesn't really matter.
I think that most people would assume that you don't like him.
Yeah, I don't really like him that much. Well, the guy's a fucking idiot. Like you gotta respect him because I get like why people get angry. Like did you see like somebody destroyed his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? With
like once a week that shit happens. Yeah, someone took like I forget. I think it was like George Lopez fake pissed on it. That was funny as fuck. I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but it's just like George Lopez like fake pissing on something in general is funny.
I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, don't you think like the guy's the president? You can't like disrespect
it's probably not, yeah,
the president, like
pissing on all of his things and stuff. I can't believe someone pickaxed.
Did George Lopez get in trouble for that, or what? Like, did they?
No, he didn't. Man, he's George Lopez, and he didn't actually pee. It was fake, so it's not like.
Yeah, I think his thing was out and everything. They didn't blur out his actual dick on that video.
No, they blurred out he wasn't hanging brain.
I'm pretty sure he was hanging brain, man. I saw pixelation there.
Yeah,
in that video.
Just because there's pixelation doesn't mean it's real. Like Tosh, they used to do that all the time on Tosh Window. They used to blur out his crotch.
So what? He had a fake dick out? I think he was actually pissing.
Maybe. I mean, they have those. You ever seen Blue Mountain State where they got like the fake dicks so they can pass the drug test? Maybe he had one of those.
Oh, I mean, it possibly could be. Well, how do you feel about that? Like,
what?
Regardless of what you feel about the way you feel about Trump, if you like him as our president or not, like, do you think there's something wrong with somebody destroying his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Depends depends why. I guess I don't get into politics. I don't vote because, quite frankly, I'm extremely uninformed, and I don't want to feel responsible for making a decision.
Right.
So I just don't outright. So that's why I usually beat around questions like this.
Yeah. And that's why you're how old are you now? 22?
I'm about to be 22, yeah.
20.
You're almost
22, and you're taking a freshman introduction to being a freshman.
And I've already been a freshman twice before.
Most of your friends are graduating college right now, and you're in this freshman class.
Literally.
But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
there's definitely a couple things wrong with it. For starters, they don't know that I've been a freshman at 2 other colleges. I just completely took that out of the record. And then next week I have to do a presentation about my life, and so somehow I have to I'm gonna have to lie for like half of it because I can't tell them.
Why lie? Why don't you just be honest?
Because I can't tell them that I went to 2 other colleges, or they'd be like, "Oh, we can't give you these credits for this fucking freshman class because you're not this isn't your intro to freshman year. It's your intro to your third victory lap."
You have to take regardless. You have to take the class. Why would
no? You don't have to take it.
You don't?
No. It's just I picked it up because it was an easy 3 credits.
Right. Yeah, it was the easy credits to do. Yeah. What if the people that teach your class listen to this podcast?
I'm fucked. Hopefully by then I've already got my sweet associate's degree. I'm out.
Okay, so you picked the class because it was easy. What other easy credit classes did you pick this semester?
Well, I haven't picked my classes for the actual fall semester, but I'm taking anthropology right now. Right. And I picked that because it's the only class I passed at Alabama, so I already knew most of the stuff.
What's the deal with anthropology?
Anthropology is just the study of culture.
So what are you learning right now in anthropology?
I don't remember.
Are you stoned when you go into class, or what?
No, I don't get high before class. I don't get high that often. I don't like getting high. I get too paranoid.
But you'll have a nice glass of Colt 45 before you...
Only because it was the podcast. I was like, yeah, whatever, I can have a beer.
Screw freshmen. What do you think?
Now I'm going to be drunk. I'm going to be mouthing off in class. Yeah, fuck this crap. What are you, drunk, Edwards? A little bit.
I remember when I was in college, for some reason, whenever they show movies, like, that's like the time, like, oh, we're going to be watching a movie, that's like the day everyone decides to sneak nips.
I was just going to walk out when he said we were doing the movie, and I was like, oh, damn, it's going to be dark. I always sit in the back corner of the class, like, towards the door. I always sit close to the door.
Okay.
And I was just going to, like, slink out once he started the movie, but then he was like, oh, he just won the Oscar in 2004. I was like, oh, this is an Oscar winner? I'll check it out. So I would have left if it weren't for the fact that it was like an actual movie.
You were worried it was going to be a bad movie.
I was worried it was going to be like some bullshit like indie movie about like not being racist or something, but then it was like an actual like real movie with like a good script and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'll check it out.
You know, when it comes to movies, you know, your script, that's what I really would have liked to have discussed.
What?
Is you wrote a script for a movie about fathers of girls that are in little girls that are in beauty pageants. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea for a movie.
Premise-wise, yeah.
And I started reading it. I never finished it because
you left the thing in the.
I left it in my desk. I heard
you mention on Chefs.
And after I got let go, I never went back in to get my stuff. Who knows? Chris Shepard says the principal is probably.
That's when I listened to that part when he told me about it. That you and Shepard talking about it. So I went through the podcast and I found that part. And you said you felt bad because it was all like, you know, I had it like in the binder and stuff. You know, the only reason I put it in the binder and stuff was because originally I was going to give it to my parents to let them see it.
Really?
And then I just was like, I want to rewrite it first and whatever. Like, I wanted to change it up. Like, now, half the jokes there I don't even stand by anymore.
You don't even like half the jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, like, you just grow out. Like, you do that with your stand-up ever where you're like, you just kind of, like, grow out of a joke and you're like, you don't find it funny anymore?
Not so much my stand-up. Well, yeah, those jokes, like, disappear quickly. Like, if there's material I like, I'll hold on to it for years.
Well, yeah, of course.
but definitely with my writing. If I like read a script that I wrote years ago, and sometimes I'll be like, whoa, what was I thinking with this?
Like, do you still like the Hennessy Williams show that you wrote?
Well, that's pretty recent. Me writing that, so I still
like March, right?
After me and Hennessy went through some of it on his podcast, and I saw like my flaws of thinking what his character would be. Like I don't know. I was more amused by it than anything. I think it'll probably be years from now before I go back and look at it and go,
"Damn, this crap sucks." Yeah,
who knows though? Maybe I'll pitch it to a network and like now that Roseanne's not on ABC anymore,
they got a time slot to fill.
They need something. Maybe the Hennessy Williams show is what. Why don't you talk about a little bit about your script?
No, I don't want to talk about it. I've already I got to go back and like start changing it up first. I mean that you pretty much said the premise. Yeah, it's like this. It's supposed to be like a mockumentary.
Dude, you got a whole movie written, and it's definitely a good premise for a movie. What are these characters? What is the plot like? What happens?
I'll tell you the one part. The only reason I even wrote the movie was all structured around this one joke. Literally, like the entire movie was built around just me wanting to write this one scene in, and so the pageant like starts out and like it's like they're all like married. Like most of these guys are married,
right?
And so like it's supposed to be like a mockumentary. And so this documentary crew comes in to film like this pageant that they think is like a big deal in Nebraska, and then they get there and they find out that it's not a big deal at all. It's like this fucking just shanty town with like this bullshit pageant that they have.
And that's definitely the mentality of a stand-up comedian going in there because like
something
you get really like excited about a show you might do, and then you get to the place and it's like
six people.
I traveled all the way here for this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's
the premise essentially. Yeah. But the
you
joke
painted a picture for us.
The joke that I built it around was there. So there's all these different girls at the pageant, right? And one of the girls is deaf. One of the girls that goes up for the beauty pageant is deaf, and her mother choreographs her routines,
right?
So that when she goes up, she just dances to what she thinks is what's playing. And so one of the ideas they have to get the pageants canceled so they can stop coming there every week because that's the arc. Yeah, they're trying to get it canceled.
Okay, so it's a mockumentary, and the fathers
and the documentary crew coming in makes them realize like, holy shit, we've been coming here for like 2 years every fucking week. Like we need to like stop this. And they're like trying to come up with these ideas to get it canceled. And one of them has the idea to change the music during one of their daughter's songs, not the deaf girls. Change the music during someone else's song, but at the end, like when the pageant happens and they like fuck up the timing and the order of the people gets changed, and they accidentally play the music during the deaf girl set, and it's like this super vulgar rap music, and it has the girl like it starts off to like some little 60s music, she's doing her little dance to it,
right,
and then the music cuts off. But she's deaf, she doesn't know it cuts off, she still keeps dancing to nothing, and like 10 seconds later, like a rap instrumental starts playing, and it's like, she's still just like dancing, and she doesn't know that she's dancing to like rap music that's like, fuck, pussy, shit, money, like, that's
I like that. That's a good are you discouraged at all knowing that there's an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they do something similar?
It's different. It's not like that. I mean, the only similarity between the Always Sunny episode and the script is the pageant in general.
I mean, that whole thing with Danny DeVito, where
he's like such a creep, yeah, and he's got the morgue makeup on.
What about but there's a mockumentary. I mean, did you get the idea from that because there is a mockumentary already about beauty pageants. That like it's about like women that like live in the Midwest.
Got like Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Drop Dead Gorgeous. Is this kind of how you got the idea for this, or
no? I got the idea based. It wasn't even a mockumentary. It was the only reason I made it a mockumentary was to make the characters seem less absurd.
Right.
Like, because if you're filming it through like a documentary lens, it makes everything seem like weird and real as opposed to like just like quirky and like fun written.
But also, I think like if you were serious about making the movie, it might be easier for you to make something like a mockumentary.
It's also cheaper,
because it's like the acting and everything. It's like a little less. you don't have to be as professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, and you can get away with a lot of improv and stuff like that, and that's what you would like. When I write a script, I think like, yeah, the people that are going to act in it are all going to be like comics. Like, you want people that are naturally funny to play those roles. But
if you actually make this movie one day, you want me to be in it?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, first of all, it's probably not going to get made. I only wrote it because to use like in the future, if like I like start building up like a career, and I wanted to show people that I can write in screenplay format. Like I can write jokes in a screenplay format. So the thing wasn't created to show like, yeah, I want to get this movie made. It was more just to prove that I can write
that you can write
properly and B put in good jokes.
Maybe you should do what I did with my movie / plays, where I publish it and put them on Amazon. Man, maybe people want to read your writing.
Yeah, I don't think people want to read like a screenplay on Amazon, like a book, like a paperback of my screenplay.
Apparently, that's what I think people want to do.
And I'm just too lazy to go back and like I think that's
I
haven't like fucked around
editing
in
is
like
tough.
months.
Like editing your own work
and rereading. Like I hate reading. I can't even read
editing,
my own shit.
And you know something? Nobody else wants to edit your stuff for you. That's a problem too. Have you ever had somebody else try to like? Have you ever tried to have somebody else edit your like creative project? Like it's not like being in school and having another kid like edit your essay.
You mean like change the stuff or just like fix like typos or like?
Well, fix typos and give you constructive criticism. It's almost like impossible. You know what I mean? Because
I don't mind constructive criticism.
I feel like other people like are usually like afraid to like tell you what's
Well, that's why if I give it to someone, I literally usually am very upfront. I'm like, listen, like if it's bad, like I want you to tell me that it's bad. Like I sent it to my buddy Jake, that he's been like my best friend since like 8th grade, and I said he was the first person I sent it to that read it, and I was like, listen, like if you think this is shit, you gotta tell me. And he would tell me like the parts that he didn't think would fit, or you know what I mean. He was very honest, which helped me trim the fat.
But you know what's interesting? I feel like when I was your age, I feel like I was similar to you about my writing. Like I
just like would write and then like do the jokes for like 6 months and like not like them
No,
anymore.
I just was more protective over it. Like I didn't want like everybody reading it.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like that day when you brought your script to me.
I just handed it. Yeah, it was like a drug deal.
Yeah. I feel like do you think you're protective over your writing?
I mean, I definitely I didn't let my parents see it at all, man. My parents, I barely even let them come to my stand up. I don't know why. I don't like my family seeing me do stand up because I want to get I want to be always I want to be guaranteed good sets before I have my parents come out. And this, I'm doing well now. I'm doing better than I used to. I'm getting better, but I'm not guaranteed. I could still hit or miss when I go up there. I want to I don't want them to come out until I can guarantee that I'm I could crush it. So that's why I've kept them at arm's length.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems with stand-up comedy. You never know what what you're going to do on stage is going to be a success or not.
You mean with new stuff or just in general? Because once you learn,
no, in general, in the aspect of when you invite people like your parents out to see, people that you feel vulnerable on stage,
in front of because when you see an audience, you just think it's a bunch of random people, It gets to that point, the more you do it, it's more it's just a bunch of random people. Who cares? That's why I always get nervous.
Yeah.
The first thing I do every time I walk into Buddha, I look around, make sure that nobody I worked with at Publix and nobody that I knew in high school is there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotta and I mean, I would still go up if I saw one of them, but it would be in my head. I would just be avoid looking in that area of the crowd.
All right, I think we're pretty much running out of time. Is there any shows you want to plug? Is there any?
Am I plugging stuff? Oh, actually, I'm doing Adam K's the
show at the station.
Yeah, at the station. That's what I was
okay. There's a place called the Station in West Palm. What day is that?
August 3rd, Friday.
Friday, August 3rd. The Station. Adam K. He's been on the show. Also a great comic.
That's dope.
Go to the Station in West Palm. See Riley Edwards and Adam K.
That's dope. I'm plugging stuff. That's fun.
Is there anything else you want to plug?
No, that's it. Unless someone's got open apartment space. I'm looking to move out of my parents' house.
Why don't you rent this place?
No, I'm fucking kidding, dude. You kidding me? I love living in my parents' house.
Thanks for being on our podcast, brother.
All right, man.